Good morning, everyone. We have 10 legislative actions that I'll briefly describe today. These are based on what we learned from the hearing that many of you attended last week, what we've learned from our State Department of Justice, what we've learned from talking with our local police chiefs, and from the researchers who have been spending many, many years looking at these topics. We know that gun violence is complex. There are many aspects to it that we are going to need to look at: mental health, school safety, other things. But no one can doubt that gun safety legislation is an essential part of that solution. So today we are going to look at ways of closing the gaps in existing laws, enforcing existing laws, and making sure that we keep weapons and ammunition in the hands only of responsible people. In terms of the gaps in existing law, we have a range of measures, from updating the definition of shotgun, which is Senator Jackson's legislation, Senator Yee's legislation prohibiting bullet buttons, those little legal tools that can turn a semi-automatic weapon almost into an automatic weapon, sold legally. I am carrying a bill that will prohibit the possession of high-capacity magazines in California. They are now forbidden to be sold, manufactured, or imported. They also need not to be able to be possessed. The grandfathering in of weapons is something that our police chiefs have told us and law enforcement has told us makes it very difficult to enforce existing law. And Senator Steinberg is carrying an absolutely basic bill, which would require fixed magazines on all guns. Other bills will require the registration of all firearms. As the Pro Tem mentioned, we have very strong ammunition bills, expanding, I might say, on what the cities of Los Angeles and Sacramento are already doing. We are also going to be enforcing existing law, and that is taking the armed and prohibited persons list, which has about 20,000 people on it now, putting the funding into that bill so that law enforcement can go out and collect those weapons. There are about 38,000 of those weapons in the hands of about 20,000 prohibited persons because they're felons, mentally ill, or have restraining orders. So we're also going to be looking at education and certification, just like with cars and other things in our society. So with that, I look forward to working with all the authors and with our communities across the state as we move these bills forward and keep California out in front in terms of serious gun safety regulation to keep our children safe and our communities protected.